Yeah, cheetahs would eat a fucking pizza.
I tell you what, a cheetah would eat a motherfucking rat. And that motherfucking rat is eating all the fucking cheese. He's eating all of Aunt Ganouli's motherfucking cheese, so we ain't eating any fucking pizza because there's no fucking cheese. So have the fucking cheetah eat the fucking rat, so he ain't eating our fucking cheese, so we can eat some fucking pizza, yeah?
Hey, Louie, how much a fucking cheetah cost?
Yeah, I know a guy, you know?
Alert. Quantum surge detected. Vector 597.
Transformers, robotic life forms born far across the galaxy on the planet Cybertron. Two groups of their forces crashed on an unknown planet. A quantum surge then changed the Beast Warriors into Transmetals, who are joined by new comrades. Now, the Beast Wars rage on!
Too much energon.
Greetings, Predacons and Maximals. Welcome to Season 2 of Too Much Energon, the podcast where we review every single episode of the 90s animated show Beast Wars. If you are a new listener, we have completed Season 1. If you're following us on our journey, welcome to Season 2. I am one of your hosts, NeoCal, and I am joined by my co-host, Christopher Siege.
Hello.
How's it going?
So far, so good.
All right.
We're in Season 2 now, so that's something to be excited about.
That is. Season 1 has flown by. Well, it has for me.
This is a pretty... The show gets pretty metal from here on out, if you know what I'm saying.
See, now I understand that joke. For anyone listening, Christopher Siege has been a big Beast Wars fan. Like, I'd say most of your life, right?
Literally since day one, catching the first episode on its original air date 25 years ago.
And for me, I caught it here and there. My cousin had a VHS with a few episodes, but from here on out, I'm going into it blind. I haven't seen anything past Season 1, so this is all new for me, and I've been tempted to go ahead and watch it, but I don't know. I'm gonna take my time and let my reactions be authentic as we go episode to episode.
Respect the pace of the podcast.
Yeah, and today we're watching episode 1 of Season 2, Aftermath. It premiered in October 26th, 1997, and a lot happens. A lot happens in Aftermath.
A lot does happen. So the episode is called Aftermath because it's a pretty fitting title, really, because it's the aftermath of the cliffhanger to end all cliffhangers that
insane
that book ended last season. So yeah, if you're just joining us, the first season of Beast Wars ended with the mysterious aliens coming to planet Energon and revealing that one of the moons was actually a planet-killing device. They activated it, and Optimus Primal flew a transwarp drive-equipped stasis pod into it and blew it up. And because of some shenanigans that Megatron pulled, he got blown the fuck up too. So Optimus is dead.
He is. And if you go frame by frame and you watch it, there's no, ooh, actually he did this. No, he explodes into chunks. He dead.
Yeah, pieces of his dead corpse like fly right toward the camera. It's
not like leaving that to the imagination.
It's
dead.
brutal. Yeah, he did.
This episode has some more of that.
Yeah. So to get started, Aftermath picks up immediately where the last episode left off. the Maximals are on the bridge of the Axelon, and we're hearing radio static, and all of the Maximals are kind of looking just in utter shock. Like they're all like their eyes are wide and their mouths are agape, and they can't believe what's happened.
Yeah, the computer tells them that Optimus Primal has been destroyed. And it cuts to the dark side, where
Yeah, one thing I want to point out is like Rat Trap is like he asked the computer for a report, and the animators here, there's something going on in this scene too that we haven't seen before.
I noticed it now that you pointed out.
Yeah, the animators have between seasons 1 and 2 have learned the depth of field technique. So things in the background are slightly out of focus, but things in the foreground are in focus. That's it's not something we saw.
Off.
Yeah, they're showing off, continuing to show off as they always do. And so Rat Trap is like computer report, and the computer is all like alien construct destroyed, and Rat Trap's like, now laid up for that hunk of junk. Where's Optimus? And I like how the computer here like pauses for dramatic effect. It's like,
yeah, you're right, it does.
Unit Optimus Primal. Dun 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 dun. It's the fucking computer. Dramatic effect. But yeah, we cut to the dark side, and the computer's sentence is finished with the Predacon computer saying destroyed.
Destroyed.
With a little holographic representation of Optimus Primal.
And the peanut gallery is laughing their asses off.
Yep.
Megatron is sitting in his throne, and on the terror boards, that's what we call the hoverboards on the dark side, we got Waspinator, Scorponok, and Terrorsaur laughing their butts off. They're just having a good old time. Megatron too.
Yeah. And Scorponok's all like, "You've done it, Megatron!"
Right? And he just Megatron shoves him away.
And they
why? He's praising you, man.
Yeah, like at least give him a fist bump, you know?
Right?
Or a claw bump? I don't know.
Claw bump, yeah.
Yeah.
Even Waspinator is like, Waspinator happy to see end of alien machine.
And Optimus Primal too.
And he pats Megatron on the shoulder. And I'm like, wait, so you smoke Scorponok because he congratulates you, but you let Waspinator touch you? What's going on here? I thought Scorponok was best boy. But he gives Waspinator a groin shot for good measure anyway. Did you notice that? He smacks him in the groin.
No, I didn't. I gotta go back.
Like 225 or something like that. Just like smacks him in the dick.
Also, I want to point out that Megatron is nowhere near as shiny as he usually is. His texture is very matte.
Yeah, if it was a paint job instead of it being reflective or translucent, it's matte. Yeah, we're used to seeing a lot of light, kind of like reflective rendering on him. More than this, anyway.
Yeah, he always kind of has this like chrome finish to him.
Yeah, and a good example is when Terrorsaur comes into frame, right next to him. He does have all of that on him.
Yeah,
he does look all shiny and stuff. But yeah, the scene, Megatron's like, yeah, stop laughing. We have more work to be done.
Yeah, yeah, he's basically like, the Maximals are busy like mourning for their dead leader, so now's the time to go and fuck them up.
Yeah.
Kick them while they're down. Cheers.
Then we'll win the Beast Wars once and for all.
This
Right?
will be the final battle.
And then almost like weird poetic injustice. I don't know. He's often interrupted when he's having a good time. The computer has a warning.
Yeah, the computer is like, warning, sensors detect quantum surge approaching planet, and we see like a little on the little like holographic fishbowl thing.
Yeah, the little planet projection.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
shockwave incoming.
Yeah, clearly from the exploding moon.
Yeah. That's not good.
Nope. So we're back at the Axelon, and the Maximals are all being like, "Oh, it should have been me. I should have gone."
And they're kind of like questioning, like, why didn't he like eject, like according to plan? Like, why wasn't it me, man? Why wasn't it me? And they're all kind of lamenting.
Yeah,
Mourning. Yeah.
Yeah, and Rat Trap's all like, "Well, let's ask Black Arachnia, but she's gone because she fucked off in the
Like
the last
20
scene."
minutes ago.
Uh,
Like they didn't even tie her up. That's the funny part. She was just like, well, peace.
that's my cue to skidoo.
What do they call that? An Irish goodbye? And you just like peace out and nobody notices?
I have no idea.
Or is
I've
that the
never heard
Batman?
the Batman. We'll go with that.
I like both of those.
The Irish Batman.
Oh, wouldn't that be? I just pictured him with an Irish accent, and it was an assault on my senses.
Oh, I'm not wearing hockey pads.
I'm not wearing any bloody hockey pads. I can't. I can't
either. And I
I
know
can't
we don't
either.
have any Irish listeners, so we don't have to apologize for butchering the accent.
Oh God. Yeah, I googled it. An Irish goodbye is a slang that originated, and it refers to a person ducking out of a party or a social gathering, or like a date or something, without bidding farewell.
That's
And the reason
one of my classic maneuvers.
is that a Christopher classic?
Just kind of leaving.
And when everybody goes, "Oh, where'd blah 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 go?" I don't know, the bathroom. And then another 20 minutes go by, and they're like, "Oh, I guess he just peaced out." Yeah. Apparently, it's referring to the potato famine, when many Irish fled their homeland for America. Oh, I didn't know that part. We're always learning.
Yep. We're this is a very inquisitive podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
It is. Yeah, we learn a lot of things. Some of them related to Beast Wars.
Yep. But not always.
Often not, no. But you're still better for it.
Come for the Beast Wars, stay for the learnings.
Yeah, come for the Beast Wars, stay for the Raptorbot Chronicles.
We still haven't done a second part of that.
We haven't. It'll happen.
It'll happen.
Yeah. We're working on the screenplay.
Speaking of things happening, Tigatron's all like, "Well, I'll go get that goddamn spider." And then the computer is like, "Alert, quantum surge detected at vector 597. Or 957. Or
Something like that, yeah.
something like that. 597, right. I was right the first time.
So, yeah, Rat Trap says, "Hey, we got a bigger problem." And before it shows how they react, it shows Black Arachnia like creeping around in her spider form.
Yeah,
on the
ceiling.
maximal ship, yeah. And she seems to be wrestling with Tarantulas' spirit, like seizing control of her.
Yeah, this was alluded to in one brief, one little brief shot at the end of last season.
Yeah, it was very noticeable. And it's happening here. Her eyes glow green, and when she speaks, Tarantulas' voice comes through.
Yeah.
Like
Pretty cool.
he's talking to her. It is kind of cool.
Terrifying in a way, but also kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we go in.
Sorry. Basically, he's like, "Hey, we can't go yet. You need to go find something."
Yeah. Yeah, we go into basically her mind's eye, essentially.
Yeah.
And inside her head, like, Tarantula's taking over is being represented by her in robot form getting stuck on a web, and like a giant beast form Tarantulas is like all coming at her.
Taunting her and like torturing her.
Yeah. And she
This is
screams.
supposed to be like a physical representation of like him like making her feel helpless and taking over her mind, right?
Yeah.
Quite horrifying. Especially
Yes.
if you don't like tarantulas, which we don't.
Creepiest motherfucker on this show.
No, I don't care for that tarantula man. Not one bit.
Oh God.
Oh God.
So we fade to black, and in what is a very obvious commercial break.
Yeah.
And
And
then
a
we're back.
spooky space wave.
And then we're back at a shot of the planet, and the fucking quantum surge is coming toward it, and that like kind of haunting like alien music is playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, that little daunting
Yeah,
music that accompanies like the alien artifacts.
Yeah. Anytime like that kind of shit's going down. That
I can't even really hum it.
Wah, wah, wah.
Dun 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 dun. Oh wait, whoops, wrong. Wrong soundtrack. So on the Axelon, what are they doing? They're all manning their stations on the bridge, and they're trying to get the shields up. Is that what's going on here?
Cheetor has like diverted like all power to the forward shields or whatever, and
He's the
Razor.
Scotty of the ship.
Yeah. We've talked about before, but like they definitely borrow a lot of their like ship function and crew function from Star Trek.
Well, it was kind of pioneering that field, so it's, you know how like that the meme like, oh, Simpsons did it first, right? Because there's like over 1,000 episodes of The Simpsons, and any new idea has bound to have been an episode of The Simpsons first. There's a whole episode of South Park where Butters tries to come up with schemes because he's playing Professor Chaos, and every single scheme he comes up with, his sidekick's like, oh, that was on The Simpsons. And then by the end of the episode, he's just following Butters as Butters is spewing off new ideas, and he's like, Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it. And I'm like, oh God, that it feels like that's what that The Simpsons did it of sci-fi is the original series.
Right.
For Star Trek.
Well, and it's also it's important to point out too that Beast Wars premiered a mere like 2 years after Next Generation went off the air. So Next Generation was still kind of in the pop culture consciousness at this point. And like the Next Generation movies were coming out at this time still as well.
Right. Yeah, so it had a lot to there's already a lot of sci-fi Star Trek to draw from.
Yeah.
And they have good sci-fi tropes, right? Like shields rerouting power, right? The bridge sparking and shaking. Everybody having their own little job to do. Yeah, it's very Star Trek.
Anyway, so they're all at their stations. Cheetor has like rerouted power to the shields. Razor is like, they'll never hold. And Rat Trap's like, make them hold. Optimus didn't blow himself to scrap so we could get slagged by space junk.
Yeah.
which, I mean, fair.
They owe it to Optimus to survive, damn it.
And this quantum surge is coming toward the Axelon. I really love how this like series of shots play out.
Huh. So basically what is happening is the gravitons, tachyons, some sort of energy is permeating the ship in like little light rays, I guess. Is that it?
Yeah, so the
Like peppering the ship.
so the quantum surge, which is basically like it's a space shockwave essentially. If you've seen like the original Star Wars film and you've seen the Death Star blow up at the end, think that like ring that goes out when it explodes. Think that's coming toward the planet. It hits the Axelon, and as it's passing through the Axelon, it gets inundated with blue light, and all of our heroes get blown out of their terminals and get knocked back. And as they do, as the quantum surge passes completely through the ship, these like white lights, essentially, that kind of look like like little miniature shooting stars.
Yeah,
I guess.
like penetrate through everything, including the ship's hull and the Maximals.
Yep.
And they all kind of like scream and like throw their arms out as they're being like hit by this energy. It's crazy.
Yeah, and we see it's not affecting Tigatron, but
or Air
Razor, but Cheetor and Rat Trap are starting to glow and scream in just utter agony.
Yeah, so whatever is happening there on the ship is also hitting the dark side.
Yep. Yeah, this surge is hitting the entire planet. So back at the dark side, Megatron gets knocked out of his hover throne. Waspinator gets knocked off of his terror board and falls into a hot tub heal machine, which is what we call the Predacon CR chamber.
Yeah.
Megatron gets up, and these like lights start hitting him as well, and he starts glowing.
Yeah, and then again he thrusts his arms up.
Yeah, and
as it hits him.
Yeah, and he's like screaming in pain. And then we see Pterosaur and Scorponok are also glowing from this light, but they crash into each other on their terror boards and fall into the lava. And slowly sink down.
Like, fucking
and
die. Like, Terminator 2, like,
straight
don't
up.
even get to put a hand up, like a thumbs up. I can't believe they did them dirty like that. That was a 3-second death scene. I think they deserved better than that.
I think so too.
It's a dark shot. You know what I mean? Like, something like it's only like they're only in shot for like 3 seconds. Like I said, I almost missed it when you mentioned that they died earlier. I was like, no, they didn't, and you were like, what? Yeah, and I was like, oh, yeah. right. That's how insignificant their death scene in the episode is, and I'm like, well, there go my 2 favorite Predacons.
Yeah, I love Pterosaur, so I remember watching this episode on also on its original air date back in '97. So fucking hyped for this episode when I found out that it was coming. No, like serious, like I cannot put into I cannot truly put into words just how fucking stoked 12-year-old me was after the end of last season and going without new Beast Wars, not even knowing if there was going to be new Beast Wars at all for like 6 months, which to me, like thinking back on it, it felt like 5 years. But like looking at the dates, it's like, oh, it actually wasn't. It was only like 6 months.
Has Christopher ever been more stoked?
Then for this episode, no.
So the most stoked Christopher has ever been in his life was for season 2, episode 1 of Beast Wars.
Yes. Legit.
Amazing.
100%. Yeah, I would say like a close second maybe is the first Avengers movie, because I was a big comic book fan growing up. So like actually seeing like the Avengers together on screen was like, holy shit.
Give you like goosebumps, and
Yeah.
that would be pretty hype.
Yeah.
So this is the first. Well, you know what? What a fucking episode too.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I can't believe they died so. Oh, they were glowing too.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were glowing. So whatever's happening to Cheetor, Rat Trap, and Megatron was clearly going to happen to them as well.
I'm adding that to my fan fiction. They get out of there.
Well, Pterosaur was one of my favorites, and I know that you are.
I had a special place in my heart for Scorponok,
The
scientist, the non-evil scientist of the dark side. He just tried his best, you know. God damn.
In honor of our favorite fallen Predacons, I have prepared a special send-off for them that we will take approximately 30 seconds or so of silence to listen to the last call with a 21 eye laser salute. Rip in peace, Pterosaur and Scorponok.
Rip in peace, you magnificent sons of bitches.
You will be missed.
God, our inside memes like of Scorponok just being wholesome and wanting to make like Megatron proud, and like Pterosaur just being like a shithead who gets away with everything. Literally gets away with like trying to betray Megatron like at least three times. Feels like 3. Just
because I remember that this happened like all season, like doing this podcast with you, and like
yeah.
every week hearing just how much you were just in love with Scorponok. I was like, oh, every time. No, I know.
Listeners, like I didn't know that Pterosaur and Scorponok were gonna bite the dust. No fucking clue. I was so shocked. I was in denial.
I kept mum about the whole thing the entire season.
You did. I'm amazed.
Yeah. Like I said, rip in peace, guys. You will be missed, and you were gone from our lives far too soon.
I refuse to believe. Damn it. Okay, moving onwards. What are the stages of grief? I've already hit denial. Acceptance.
There apparently, I was reading recently, there apparently were plans to, like, they were leaving the door open to maybe bring them back, but it just didn't happen.
Well, I hope they can manage to make it without more cyber bees. I don't know how, personally, but we'll see.
For the listeners, if you don't know, the reason why they were killed off in this episode, according to my research, well, and by research, I mean watching a like behind the scenes thing on the Beast Wars season 1, or complete series DVD. A behind the scenes thing where the showrunners were saying that basically they got a mandate from Hasbro to kill them off because their toys weren't selling very well.
And honestly, even before this recording started, I had mentioned that to Christopher. I was like, I'm guessing that their toys weren't selling as much.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Which,
so I don't know, like Scorponok would seem rad to me. Shoot fucking missiles out of his clickers. What more do you want, people?
I had the Scorponok toy back in the day, and he actually was pretty sweet.
But here we are. Apparently, we are in the minority.
Yeah, it was a good toy. He was a Mega Beast size toy, which is like the equivalent of a Voyager class Transformer nowadays.
You've mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That leaves 3 Predacons in active duty right now.
Yeah, so we got Megatron, Waspinator, and Black Arachnia.
Yeah, and everyone else is either scrapped or dead. So there's only 3 of them right now.
Yeah, Tarantulas isn't in his body right now. He's in Black Arachnia's head, and his body is presumably in stasis lock.
Somewhere in, it showed, what was it? Inferno? Like, scrapped him?
Yeah, he like burned him alive last episode.
And he just like fell down dead. And we joked, we're like, and he's dead. And I'm like, is he? I don't know. He could be.
Who can say?
But yeah, let's sorry, back to the whole like glowing thing. Megatron like screams as he's being hit. What's happening to me?
Yeah.
Before he passes out. Another obvious commercial cut.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty obvious this episode, hey?
Super, yeah. And we come back to a super bad looking Axelon. Holy shit, is that ship not doing good?
No, that ship took some damage.
It's barely hanging on there.
So Black Arachnia wakes up, and she's basically just all like, "Oh, what happened?" And Tarantulas is like, "Oh, a quantum surge. It must have knocked all of the Maximals out. You must go get my body, bitch, before they wake up." Basically.
Basically, he's like, "Yeah, you need to go find my body," and she's like, "No." And he's like, "Well, I'll make your life a living hell." And she's like, "Okay, fine."
Yeah. And Tyga on the bridge of the Axelon, Tigatron and Airazor wake up.
Yeah.
And they're all like, "Are you okay? Yeah. Are you okay? Yeah. Cool. Where's Rat Trap and Cheetor?"
The bridge is all sparking and everything's broken.
Yeah. And Rat Trap's all like, "Yeah, looking for me?" And Tigatron's like, "By the Matrix." And we see Rat Trap.
Yeah, we get our first shot of Transmetal Rat Trap.
Yeah, he's looking pretty different now.
Yeah, he's much different.
Yeah, he's
got abs now, damn it.
He's completely metallic. He's looking pretty fucking cut.
Right?
Now that I have they actually have the video like paused on him, like, wow, he's cut.
Yeah, he's ripped. It's like he just came back from doing keto for a couple months. Speaking of ripped, we hear Cheetor off screen say, "Jump and gyros, what happened to you?" And then we get to see Cheetor, and he looks like a toy. I'm just gonna say that. He doesn't look as metallic as Rat Trap.
On the note of looking like a toy, Dan's metal characters in this show are completely toy accurate.
I had thought so.
The characters weren't particularly show accurate, like in varying degrees, but like most of them weren't terribly show accurate from the
Right.
first season, from like the first couple waves of toys. Like the Cheetor toy barely looks like he does in the show. Same with Tigatron, and Black Arachnia is literally just a repaint of the Tarantulas toy.
Huh.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I didn't have Tarantulas. I had Black Arachnia, and I just pretended Black Arachnia was Tarantulas.
Of course. That's such a kid thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well,
yeah,
even, wasn't Tigatron just like a recolor of
Cheetor. Yeah.
Yeah.
With a like slightly different head.
Oh, so it did have a slightly different body, or just the head?
Yeah, the head
Weird.
was like a different sculpt, but like the body was the same.
And but yeah, you were saying that the Transmetal toys for Rat Trap and Cheetor and Megatron, I think that's what we see.
Yeah.
Oh, we sort of see Tarantulas later.
Yeah,
You say they are very accurate?
yeah, if you look up pictures of the Transmetal toys, like they actually modeled the character models in the show after the toys.
Okay, that makes sense. Maybe it'll grow on me. Not digging what Cheetor looks like in his robot form. His nose looks weird, but he looks more jacked, bulky, if you know what I mean.
He looks like he's wearing a backpack.
They both do, which makes sense because, like you said, they're supposed to resemble their toy counterpart. So it makes sense that they got to fold out somehow, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
In season 1, they were often varying degrees of shape, right? Like it was just kind of like they just magically formed into whatever they were.
Yeah, if you look at a picture of the original Dinobot toy and like compare it to the show, like they look nothing alike.
But yeah, the new and improved Rat Trap, they both kind of like, what? You look weird. What? Who are you calling weird? And they look in the like a metallic, like reflective surface.
On the CR chamber. Yeah, I like Rat Trap's reaction here. Hey, I'm gorgeous.
Yeah, he's digging it. And Air Razor's like, oh, the surge must have mutated your
superstructures.
Your superstructures, yeah, and I wonder what it did to your beast modes. So, like on cue, Rat Trap and Cheetor say beast mode.
Very excitedly.
Yeah. And speaking of excited, I do think these look cool. I wasn't
forms?
digging. Yeah. I wasn't digging. Again, look more like toys than, robots in disguise. Like he's not going to be fooling any normal cheetahs. But we're past that point.
Especially since he, as a cheetah, becomes a robot in the skies.
Ho ho! Because Cheetor's got some jets, got some rockets. Holy shit!
Rat Trap's got wheels.
My boy, Cheetor's got some flight capabilities now, and Rat Trap has wheels. He's like like
a hot rod.
Yeah, like a what were they called? Are you familiar with the term rat car or rat truck?
Yes.
Like a rat rod?
Yeah.
He looks like a rat rod. Right?
Or
so
like a drag racer.
Yeah, so he looks like an old car that like a greaser would work on, right? And like, you know what I mean? He has that brass or like chrome kind of look, and the back wheels are bigger. Yeah, like a drag race, like rat rod that like a greaser would like kind of make. So I think that's really funny because it's Rat Trap. So they clearly like we're going for like a rat rod kind of look for him.
Right, yeah.
Anyone listening, just Google rat rod and you'll see entirely what I mean. Like greasers and hell, even before that, like there were rat rods in the like 30s and 40s. Basically like custom built like cars to go really fast. And he definitely is rocking something like that.
Oh
dig
yeah.
it.
Yeah, this is what I was thinking of when I was trying to explain.
The rat rod look.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool. He's even got kind of like almost like rusty copper or bronze coloring to him. He's shinier though. He's shinier. He's no junkyard rat rod.
He's no junkyard dog.
No. He seems pretty enthused to have wheels.
Hey,
He's like,
you're
well,
a rat. Wheels. And
cool.
yeah, Cheetor shoots off on his jets and like flies around and
Causes
doesn't know
some
what
mayhem.
he's doing. Causes some mayhem. Crashes into like a computer panel or something, and Rat Trap like speeds off to try and get out of the way, and he crashes into one of the CR chambers, and
They're trying to get used to their new
It's gonna take some getting used to.
very Rat Trap line.
And so we're back at the dark side now, and Waspinator emerges from the hot tub heal machine and is all like, "No, Waspinator is alive."
I know. I feel like he barely made the cut. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like he's the next least favorite. So him like popping out of the CR tank, being like, "Waspinator is alive." It's kind of like, oh shit, I made the cut, baby.
That is actually what the joke is, because he was supposed to be killed off as well.
Oh, that is the joke.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was originally going to be killed off as well, but because of like his toy didn't sell all that well, but like fans liked the character so much that he basically like got saved at the last minute.
Amazing.
And so that's why they had him fall into the CR chamber.
And that's the joke. He's surprised to be here.
Yeah. Worth pointing out that he is not transmetal either.
He is not. He is normal Waspinator. And in the background, in the shadows, we get like a silhouette of like a different Megatron with glowing red eyes.
I've had a change for the better. Yes.
We still don't get to see him.
Nope. I like the slow like tease.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is completely kneecapped if you actually watch the intro to this, because the intro to this episode straight up shows Transmetal Megatron and Transmetal Rat Trap and Transmetal Cheetor and some characters that haven't been introduced yet.
For anyone listening, maybe you've already watched the episode and ruined it. Christopher let me know, hey, skip to like the minute mark or like the minute and 10-second mark to avoid the intro, because it just straight up has spoilers for the first couple episodes or so. And so I'm like, duly noted. And I was actually surprised watching this. So good advice. Thanks, Christopher. Thanks for not. Thanks for looking out so that I don't, get spoilers for this 25-year-old animated show.
So the show doesn't spoil itself for you.
Yeah, some shows are famous for doing that. But
next time on Beast Wars.
Next time. Yeah, for example, that. I always skip previews for shows.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a very 90s thing, but no, like a lot of anime still does that.
Mm.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cartoons that still do that.
Well, anime in my opinion, kind of exists in its own timeline. its own
Yeah,
alternate
I know what you mean.
timeline.
Yeah, definitely. But in this timeline, we have a sneaky Black Arachnia sneaking around the Axelon, and she finds. I think we've seen them before, maybe not. Like a laser prison grid. Two. She finds two laser prison grids. And
Right.
one of them seems to have Inferno's like corpse, his head like removed from his body in it. And the other one is like it's gross. It's like if you've ever seen a spider that like died or like shed its skin, how they curl their legs up. It's like Tarantulas's body, but it's different colored.
Yeah, it's a transmetal body, but yeah, I was going to point out as well that well, I mean, he's dead, so I kind of I kind of like the visual cue there of his like transmetal body straight up being coiled up like a dead spider.
Yeah.
I say as
But
someone who fucking hates spiders, but
right.
I appreciate the attention to detail by the creators
Interesting
here.
that his body became transmetal, but I mean technically he's dead, or at least his spark is offline and inside Black Arachnia. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go with that. And as she's dragging Tarantulas's body away, he pipes up and he's like, "Hurry!" Like her eyes glow whenever she's being possessed, and Tarantulas is talking. "Hurry, bring it to my lair." And so she drags it off, and Inferno's eyes light up.
Yeah. The eyes of his severed head sitting on the floor next to his body.
Only Predacons can do this.
Yeah, it's one of their superpowers.
Yeah, their heads can come off and they're fine.
Yeah. Hey, we've seen it happen to several of them now. Waspinator, practically every episode.
Yeah,
Pterosaur.
Pterosaur at least a few times. Yeah.
So back on the bridge.
Inferno like 3 times now. They love breaking him apart. But yeah, sorry, back on the bridge of the Axelon.
Yeah, what's going on here? Back on the bridge.
They're arguing about tracking down Black Arachnian. Tigatron's like, "Hey, she took off." But Rat Trap, I think he should be in command since Optimus isn't here, but we'll get to that when we come to it. He says,
Rat Trap's like straight up taking charge here.
Well, yeah, he has a good point. Well, if we were hit by that energy surge, so was she. So she was taken offline just as long as we were.
Yeah.
So she's not going to be far. And I'm like, oh, good point, dude. Go get her. Good logic.
Yeah, and he's all like, me and Cheetor will check on Rhinox and Chopperface.
Oh, because they were in the CR chambers.
They were in the CR chambers, yeah. Speaking of which, we see Rhinox in one of the CR chambers. He is also not transmetal.
And he's dreaming?
Yeah, he's dreaming about Optimus exploding with the moon and of Optimus's spark floating in space.
Yeah, like an energy silhouette of him as his spark flies towards the screen.
Mm-hmm. So, I feel like now is a good time to point out not every character became a transmetal from the quantum surge.
No.
And this is something that I took note of even when I was watching this when I was 12. It's not it's not random. There is a rhyme or reason to it.
And up to this point, I guess I tried to look. Sorry, go ahead.
So
it's not random.
No, it's not. None of the protoforms become transmetal.
Protoforms?
Yeah, stasis pods. Characters who join the cast via stasis pods in previous episodes.
They don't start transmetal?
They don't become transmetals. So the quantum surge didn't
I
affect
see what you're saying.
the
It's a
quantum
one-time event.
the quantum surge only affected the original cast, the original Cybertronians.
Oh.
It didn't affect any of the characters who came to the planet as protoforms in stasis pods. So Tigatron didn't become a transmetal, Air didn't become a transmetal,
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Black
yeah.
Arachnia didn't become a transmetal, Inferno didn't become a transmetal. Now, Waspinator is one of the original cast members, and he
And
didn't become a
Rhinox.
transmetal, and Rhinox, and Dinobot. They
I
were
have
all
a-
in CR chambers.
Yeah, I was gonna say they were in CR chambers, which must have stabilized their. I don't remember the term that AirRaiser used before, but like stabilized their form.
Yeah,
Maybe?
it somehow the CR chambers somehow shielded them from the effects of the quantum surge. So the only characters that became transmetals were original cast member Cybertronians who weren't in CR chambers.
Yeah. Interesting. And because Waspinator fell in the Predacon CR tank,
Yeah.
it was the same as Rhinox and Dinobot.
Yeah, and if you notice, if you remember, Pterosaur and Scorponok were glowing
They
when
were
they fell into
glowing,
the
yeah.
lava. Yeah, so they, yeah,
Cool. Good observations.
yeah. Like I even picked up on that when because I was racking my brain, 24 years ago watching this. I was racking my brain, like trying to figure out why did some of them become transmetal and some of them didn't, and I started like putting together which characters became transmetals and which didn't, and yada yada yada.
You have like a big like board with like equations and like theories and idea bubbles.
Like that meme of Charlie from It's Always Sunny.
The big conspiracy board. Yeah. Trying to excitedly tell your friends, and they're just like, dude. I like Digimon, dude. And you just like look at them with disappointment. Wait, was Digimon out yet? I don't remember.
I don't know. I was never into Digimon.
Neither was I. My brother liked that show.
Pleb.
Why would you? That's it. I'm good. When did Digimon come out? I gotta.
Why would you watch Digimon and not Beast Wars? Why would you watch Digimon instead of Beast Wars? Fuck Digimon. Watch Beast Wars instead.
Came out in '99. Why? Good.
Well, Beast Wars was still going. Dagnabbit.
As an adult, I would just like to say, man, I didn't appreciate the show when I was a kid as much as I do now. Like, this is good. Like, I think this holds up. More so than another Mainframe Entertainment show that we're reviewing. Christopher and I, and another co-host, we actually do the same thing for Reboot. We have a Reboot podcast called Alphanumeric.
Yep.
And it feels more. I know this is for kids too because it's toys, right? But I don't know how to describe it better than it just feels more for kids.
Right.
Maybe because it takes itself less seriously. I don't know. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just different.
Reboot is sillier and it's clearly aimed at a younger audience. Like I think we've talked about it on the show before, but like Reboot is clearly aimed at like the 5 to 9-year-old age range, whereas like at least in the early seasons anyway, whereas this show is kind of aimed at like the 7 to 12.
Yeah, you feel it's a little older. Yeah, we've talked about that. Yeah. I think you're right.
But Reboot is definitely much more of a mixed bag than this show, whereas like this show has so far has had its ups and downs, but like there's never been a truly bad episode.
No, even one we were like mocking as we approached it ended up being pretty stellar.
I think I think my least favorite episode of season 1 was probably Call of the Wild.
Yeah, it's not great. It's funny, but I mean, it's what do we call it? Filler
Yeah.
for sure. Call the Predacon hunt, the maximal hunt, or what? Just wild, but bananas episode.
Bananas, like a gorilla swinging through the jungle like Tarzan.
Oh, I wanted to see that. Maybe it's not too late.
Well, Optimus is dead.
For now, I have my hopes. Damn it. Well, I mean, technically, he's as dead as Starscream, so.
True. Good point.
Yeah. And Starscream still got to have his day in the sun.
Speaking of Optimus, Rhinox emerges from the stasis pod and is all like, Rat Trap, the fuck happened to you? Basically. And Rat Trap's like, it's just kind of a new look. And he's all like, where's Optimus? And Rat Trap tells him that he was destroyed, blown up with the moon, and yada yada, transwarp explosion, all of that nonsense.
Yeah, poor guy.
And Rhinox is like, well, grab me a beer and tell me what happened. Every damn part of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. And presumably off screen, as they're filling Rhinox in on all the crazy shit that went down, we turn to Inferno putting his own head back on.
Yeah, he pulls himself together.
So, quick sidebar. It's relevant to Inferno. That doesn't sound like Inferno to me. Is there a reason he sounds different?
I don't know. I didn't notice.
Oh, I'll check out the credits. Because to me, Inferno sounds very different.
I'm pretty sure it's still Jim Burns.
Just wondering if there's a different, if the break he went with a different take, or
yeah, that
do you know
would
what I
probably
mean?
be my guess. Yeah.
Because it's still Jim Burns. It has to be. He played him the whole time. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But
no,
he sounds a little different. So it could have just been the break in between seasons. He ended up taking Inferno in a little, defining his voice a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
But Inferno sure acts the same.
For the royalty.
I can't bring myself to like this guy.
Inferno?
Yeah. I understand you're not supposed to necessarily like the Predacons, but he's...
I don't know. I like plenty of the Predacons in this show.
Well, half of my favorite Predacons are dead, so... What do I know?
I think the only one I don't like is Tarantulas.
He's dead, though, so don't you worry. Yeah.
Or is he?
Well, for now. Later, Black Arachne even threatens to kill herself to get Tarantulas to shut up. And I'm like, nice. I like that sense of humor.
That's yeah, that's pretty intense for a kids show.
Right. When we get to it, I'll point it out. But that actually was the only part. Well, no, there were a few parts I laughed, but I laughed pretty surprisingly at that part. I was like, did she actually just say that? Threaten her own life to get Tarantulas to shut up? Bravo.
You go, girl.
Right. Speaking of going, girl, I don't know. Bad transition. We cut. So I think AirRaiser and Tigatron are looking for Black Arachnia because we're joining the Maximals on the bridge, and it's just Rat Trap, Cheetor, Rhinox, and Dinobot, and we're we're cutting to the scene as Rat Trap is finishing up, telling him everything. And saying yada yada yada, and that's how Cheetor and I became these transmetals.
Yeah, so he coined the term transmetal.
Is that the first time in the episode?
I think so, yeah.
And Dinobot like scoffs and reaches over and like spins one of Rat Trap's shoulder wheels. Rat Trap smacks his hand out of the way, and he's like, "Hey, hands off the merchandise!"
Yeah, and Dinobot like gets all aggro as he do,
As he do, he says some Dinobot bullshit.
And Rhinox is all like, enough, stand down, motherfucker. Basically,
I love this. Yeah, they start getting ready to tango as those two, Rat Trap and Dinobot, always do. And Dinobot grabs, like separates them. And as he's separating them, like you said, he's like, I've had enough of this shit. Dinobot kind of smacks Rhinox's arm away. And he's like, well, by what right do you command me? If I recall, Optimus...
With Optimus gone, I should be. And you know what he's saying. Like, I should become leader then with Optimus gone.
Yeah, he's cut off.
Yeah, and he's cut off by Rhinox grabbing him by the throat and lifting him off, like up into the air, off his feet.
The camera even like cuts over to show that Dinobot's dangling. And Dinobot's huge. So
yeah. Holy shit, this is like the most like this is like the most what's the word?
Megatron moment the Maximals have had. Like, this is something like Megatron would do to Pterosaur.
Yeah, this is like the most like dominating we've seen Rhinox be.
He's put his foot down before, but he's had enough shit, right? Like, Optimus is dead. Like, time to get in line. I don't have time for this shit.
Yeah, and what he says to Dinobot is, and it's one of my favorite Rhinox lines, is I'm in a bad mood. Understand?
Yeah, and Dinobot's like through a voice because he's being lifted up by the neck. He's like, uh-huh. And I'm like, whoa, we got a new Megatron Pterosaur dynamic already. Sweet. Can't wait.
Yeah, and Rat Trap and Cheetor are just all stunned.
Yeah, they like look at each other in amazement. And that shot right there, I'm like, holy shit, do they look like toys? Like, they very much.
Yeah.
So bravo, they look like toys, and you said that they're very accurate to the actual figures.
Yeah. There's actually talk, or there's a pretty big rumor that after the War for Cybertron Kingdom line, which for the listeners, if you don't keep up with Transformers toys, which to be perfectly honest, I didn't until about like 3 months ago. But the latest Transformers toy line is called Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom, which has new Beast Wars figures. It has like completely new molds of characters from this show. And it's going to be tying into a 6-episode Netflix series later on this year, which we may cover on this podcast eventually.
Oh, yeah, cool.
But yeah, so it's rumored that for like a follow-up to the War for Cybertron Kingdom line, they're just straight up going to reissue the more popular Transmetal toys, like not even remake them, just reissue them. Because even though they're like, 22, 23-year-old toy molds at this point, they still actually hold up really well.
Awesome.
From a design perspective.
You think so?
Yeah. No, I've had one. I've had one in hand fairly recently, and yeah, they still hold up. They're
honestly, not... I'd be inclined to grab an old toy like that. Like same mold and same parts.
Yeah.
But just re-released. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, with a new paint job, basically.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
I think if there was a Scorponok, I'd jump on that. I need something a memorial for him.
It's not officially announced, but it's been leaked through like product listings that there is actually a new Scorponok figure coming in the War for Cybertron Kingdom line later this year.
Oh, I just finished choose what were they called? What's the second
Earthrise.
part called? Earthrise. Yeah. Holy shit. Spoilers for the Netflix War for Cybertron parts. What was the first part called?
Siege.
Siege and
Like
then
me.
Earthrise. Yeah, oh there you go. You must have been pretty stoked for that naming scheme.
Transformers War for Cybertron, Christopher Siege.
Scorponok is in it, and boy oh boy was I pumped. Well, a Scorponok.
Yeah, it's not the same Scorponok. And when I say that there is a Scorponok coming in the War for Cybertron Kingdom line, I mean Scorponok from Beast Wars.
Yeah, not the... Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, I want Scorponok from Beast Wars.
Well, maybe
keep my eyes open.
Maybe a Santa will Santa's sleigh, transforming sleigh will land on your rooftop and drop you off a early Christmas present at some point later this year.
Santa better come through.
Or else.
And you know what's funny? I've never really wanted a Transformer before, but even before I found out he bit the dust, I was like, man, I kind of want Scorponok. Just I don't know why. I just jived with him. I found him the right levels of scary, intimidating lackey, but just the idea of a wholesome not fully functional version of Scorponok just amused me, and then they did him dirty, god damn it. So yeah, I'll have to get a memorial for Scorponok and make you and Candace proud.
Well, like I said, coming later this year, Scorponok, War for Cybertron Kingdom.
I can only hope. But yeah, to get back to jump back into the episode, what happens here? Black Arachnia is making her daring escape from the Axelon.
Yeah, and here's the part where she threatens suicide.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah, so Tarantulas is all like, "Careful, widow," and she's all like, "Easy with the name calling, ugly," or
I'll self-destruct
and slag us both.
Or I like that. Or I'll self-destruct and slag us both. And I'm like, on one hand, no Tarantulas, but on the other, no Black Arachnia. How much do I hate Tarantula, man? Not enough to get rid of Black Arachnia. She's got potential, damn it.
Yeah, so she jumps down and the camera pans all the way around her. She puts her hands on her hips, her hand claws things on her hips.
Yeah. And she's like, things have changed around here.
Yeah, because she looks at the scenery and sees that the world has been fucked up by the Planet Buster.
Yeah.
It's looking a lot more barren. Also, I just posted a screenshot. Look at the pose that Black Arachnia is in.
Oh, right. Oh my. So she didn't really fall from that vent with grace. I didn't even catch that. Usually she's very elegant and nimble.
Well,
I
she
didn't realize
jumped.
she fell right on her ass.
No, she jumped down, but then after she was all like, "Oh, things sure have changed."
Oh, this part.
Yeah,
Right.
AirRaiser is all like, the more off screen, she's like, the more things change, the more they stay the same, and she decks Black Arachnia, and Black Arachnia gets knocked back, and she ends up on her back in this very like legs spread, like sprawled out position. That
Huh.
you know what? I'm just not going to say anything more about.
A vulnerable position, let us say. Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on.
Moving on. And she growls literally at
Yeah,
Tigatron and AirRaiser.
Yeah, according to the subtitles. And AirRaiser is basically like, "Go ahead, punk, make my day."
Right? Do you feel lucky? The way she says, "Go ahead, make a move, please." I'm like, huh. Go
indeed.
bird mom. Yeah. And
Do
I'm
I
like, can
feel
you make a
lucky?
move?
Please.
You gotta ask yourself one question.
I
And
know what you're thinking, punk. You're thinking, did he fire 6 shots or only 5? But being this is a 44 Magnum, the world's most powerful handgun, one shot'll take your head clean off. So you've just got to ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do ya, punk? Yes, I've seen Dirty Harry. Actually, that line I think was from Magnum Force, the second one.
I've seen Dirty Harry like once when I was like 17. Like that movie came out before I was even born.
Oh, likewise. My grandpa really liked those movies, so I watched them with him from a very young age. Probably too young, but yeah, I've seen
Dirty Harold. Sorry, go on. What were you saying?
Harold in need of a shower. Yes.
You're
Harold in
saying-
need of a good bath. The old wax
jeez.
on, wax off.
How does Mr. Miyagi masturbate? He wax off. Anyways,
Oh, God.
moving on.
Oh, wow.
You're welcome. What's going on? Oh, things look dire for Black Arachnia. And
Yeah, and some random fire from like a blast sound effect that we've never heard before.
no.
Um
Usually I can recognize people's stuff, but not this time.
yeah, something new. Someone new.
Hmm.
Yeah, they get hit with some kind of blaster fire and get blown away, and back in the Axelon, Rhinox is all like, "Huh, what was that? Cheetor, you and Rat Trap go check that out." And he orders Dinobot to help him get Sentinel back online. And then back outside, Black Arachnia gets up, and we see Megatron
Dun.
fucking flying.
Flying.
Yeah. So
Ain't that some shit?
yeah. Yeah,
And
so
he looks a little different.
Yeah, he's a transmetal too. Or a transmetal as well.
Yes.
And not a transmetal too. That is something else.
Oh god. Oh god.
Spoilers.
And here he is in his mighty new shiny glory. I love this. So he flies over because he can fucking fly.
Yeah.
And Black Arachnia is like, Megatron! In this like very girly, like cheerful voice that I'm not used to her.
And he
using.
just
And
Megatron.
she's like, am I glad? And before she she finishes the sentence.
He just fucking smacks her.
He just pimp slaps her. He just backhands her.
Oh.
Treacherous spider.
Do
I
you
love
think
that.
I don't know what you and Tarantulas had planned? And
You
so he
dumb bitch.
and so he charges up his new like tail
Tail
cannon.
laser cannon.
Tail laser. There we go. Tail laser thing. And puts it to the back of her head. And she's just all like, "Oh, you don't want to do that." And he's all like, "Don't tell me what I want, bitch."
And why would I not want to blow your head off? And she makes the very astute observation that, well, I don't see anyone but you and Cheetor.
You and Waspinator.
Or you and Waspinator.
Yeah, I don't see Pterosaur or Scorponok with you, so I'm betting you need troops. This is the only time, the one and only time in this episode, our favorite Predacon's death is acknowledged.
Yeah.
Like, no one seems to really notice
God
or
damn
care
it.
that they're dead.
I care, damn it.
We care.
But yeah, they don't really. Yeah, this is the first time they've acknowledged it, and she's not even saying that they're dead. She's just noticing that they're not there.
But like this is the only time they're like even their absence has been acknowledged
That's
by
shitty.
anyone.
Yeah, you're right.
They deserve better.
They deserve better.
But the rest of the Maximals are fully functional.
Yeah. It's funny that that's come up in both shows we're watching.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are they? I suppose
mean,
so. Yeah.
I mean, they got 2 transmetals and the Predacons only have 1.
For now.
Cheers.
But yeah, she bargains with him and she's like, well, so you're going to need my help. And he's like, cunning. You're a clever one.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's basically just like, yeah, you know, I need you, but if you double cross me again, then I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah. I'll slap a bitch again. Yes. Remember your place. And she's kind of like defeated sighs and she's like, point taken.
Yeah. And then this little rekindling of their relationship is interrupted by the elevator platform of the Axelon coming down with Transmetal, Cheetor, and Rat Trap on it.
Speaking of Transmetal, there's like a sweet electric guitar riff that I've never heard before. Plays in the background when they descend. Just momentarily. I mean, the show always has guitar riffs, but usually only during battle or during the Predacons. Usually it's like peaceful flute music for the Maximals.
Well, like I said, this show is pretty metal, and now it's even more metal.
It's trans metal. Trans metal. So yeah, the Megatron quickly puts together a surprise ambush.
Yeah,
for the Maximals.
Yeah, he's basically all like, Waspinator, go that way. Black Arachnia, go that way and fire on my signal. I mean, it's not really much of a plan, but...
More than a plan than I've ever seen them come up with before.
It's something.
Right?
And back in the Axelon, Dinobot, like, gets, like, rock hard at the prospect of actually like engaging in battle for the first time in like I don't know how long, couple episodes.
Yeah, he's excited.
Yeah, very excited. And Inferno shows up
Oh god. This fucking fight.
Yeah, he shows up and starts shooting in the Axelon, and Cheetor and Rat Trap are just all like, "Ah, what was that?" And then
Yeah,
Megatron
because
like,
there's explosions going on in the bridge, right? Because Inferno like shot and knocked out Rhinox.
yeah. And Megatron emerges from behind a rock. I love how much people hide behind rocks in this show.
It's tactical, man. Yeah, he doesn't even shoot from surprise. He jumps up from behind a rock and he's like, Waspinator, open fire. And I'm like, why didn't you shoot?
Yeah, complete. He had the element of surprise until he was all like, "Surprise, Maximals!"
When you declare your surprise, it makes the drop on the enemy more.
It makes the surprise all the more surprising. Cheers.
Make sure that you don't shoot until after you're done talking. So it's funny. He yells, Waspinator, attack now. And Waspinator comes from behind where the little platform elevator is. But Cheetor and Rat Trap immediately turn and see Waspinator. Like, by him yelling that, they lost the element of surprise completely.
But yeah,
But Waspinator shoots them.
Yeah, Waspinator shoots Cheetor, and Cheetor goes like flying off the cliff and down the waterfall. And yeah, he's all like beast mode, transforms. And my first thought, like, honestly, like, to be perfectly honest, like, kind of forgetting for like a split second when I was watching this earlier that he can fly in his beast form now. I'm like, oh, okay, so he's falling, so he's going into beast form because like maybe because cats land on their feet.
Right,
I guess,
right.
maybe that was my line of thinking. But then I'm all like, oh wait, he has jets, right? His jets come out.
Yeah, I was watching and I was like, because I was very, very aware, and I was like, interesting. He's the only one who has a flight form just in their beast mode.
Yeah.
Like Optimus can fly in his, could fly in his robot form.
Yep, he did.
Inferno, just in his robot form as well. I think Pterosaur and Waspinator in both, but Cheetor just in his beast mode.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of cool. It changes the dynamic of interactions.
Right.
Or it has potential.
Yeah, and so his jets come out and he goes flying and he's all like, woohoo, hey, hey, hey.
Hang 10!
Totally radical.
Alphanumeric!
Giga bummer. Oh wait,
and
that's not a good thing.
Oh. And he's having he's having a Cheetor time. And Megatron, as he's like trying to laser Rat Trap.
I'm not gonna lie, I find Cheetor being excited about the fact that he can fly kind of cute and endearing.
I love it. I like it. Yeah. I'm like, my man Cheetor needed something like that. Right? He can't run the pain away anymore, but now he could jet the pain away from Uncle Optimus leaving.
From old Big Bot biting the space dust.
Yeah. I like this part here. Megatron's laser seems chargeable. Like maybe it's good up close. Yeah. But it doesn't seem to have a range. Because he's like ordering Black Arachnia to fire at Flying Cheetor. And I'm like, dude, why don't you shoot at him?
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just is frustrated. He's like, follow my orders and fire.
Yeah, and she's about to fire, and then her eyes turn green again, and Tarantulas is all like, forget the Maximals, get my body out of here. And
and she's kind of like, her eyes go back to normal, and she's like, I think our odds of survival are kind of the highest if we help Megatron right now. And he's like, do what I say, bitch. So yeah, she like
fucks
Spider-Man's
off.
away. She fucks pieces out. She grabs Tarantulas's little spider corpse and like Spider-Man's
Web swings
away.
away. Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
And Megatron's all like, Black Arachnia, fire! Fire! And he sees her like completely just fuck off. And he's all like, how dare you?
You can't. Yeah, he's not happy.
No. And like, do you blame him? Like, he just gave her like what? Like her 50th chance?
She's yeah. Yeah, good point. I'm trying to think of it now. She's almost betrayed Megatron more than Pterosaur.
Almost, yeah. I mean, she took the flying island.
Yes. He didn't know that she had planned on taking over the Predacons at that point, but she did.
Well, he probably would have heard from Scorponok though, because remember she betrayed Scorponok and like
that.
blew a hole in the floor and like
Yeah,
sent him like flying. So Scorponok would have reported that to Megatron.
Yeah, no, good point. Good point.
He knew that she well, she tried to, like, when the episode Spider's Game where we're introduced to Inferno, like that was a plot by her and like make another spider to like basically make another faction to overthrow Megatron, or seemingly that's what was going on.
Seemingly, yeah.
Seemingly.
There's that.
Yeah, seemingly Tarantula. We know Tarantulas actually just
when
wanted
he
to
showed
save the
up
pod.
and roared, and they just pieced out, right?
Yeah.
Like the spiders just pieced out of that situation.
But yeah,
good point. So there's the time she half-sided with. She's been just as, if not more, treacherous.
She's
than
been more
Pterosaur.
cunning about
Now
it
that
than
you mentioned
Pterosaur, though. She's been like kind of sneaky.
Yes.
Whereas
Ready
Pterosaur,
yeah.
Whereas Pterosaur has just basically been all like, "Fuck yeah, let's go kick Megatron's ass."
He has not been clever about it whatsoever.
No, not even in the slightest.
You would allow me to lead?
The wise tyrant always allows a fool to lead in a crisis.
Exactly.
But
anyways, sorry folks, we're just reminiscing about
the good old days of season 1 of this podcast.
Gone but not forgotten Predacons.
Yeah.
So sorry, yeah. Take it away. Where were we here?
We cut to the Axelon, and Dinobot is hiding behind the dinner table, which has been toppled over. And not Pterosaur. Damn it.
See,
rest in peace, Pterosaur. Inferno is like shooting at Dinobot, and Dinobot's like poking his head out and eye lasering. And he eye lasers Inferno's gun out of his hand, and Inferno's all like, "Haha! I don't need a weapon to defeat you, traitor."
And I'm like, have you seen Dinobot? His thing is kind of up close combat.
Yeah. You see that dude's biceps? Like, holy shit.
See the dude's drill rapier? Dueling people is kind of his thing.
Yeah. And then back outside the Axelon, Waspinator is shooting. Or Waspinator is kind of just flying. And God damn it, why do I keep saying Pterosaur?
I just missed. You're always on my mind. You're always on my mind.
Do 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 do.
So probably gonna keep saying his name. You know what's weird? We never accidentally called anyone Pterosaur before this episode.
No, never. I don't know why it keeps happening.
I've even done it. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
So Cheetor comes flying around and flying around the corner, and Waspinator notices him and is all like, Catbird cannot fly.
Or can he?
And flying Cheetor pounces onto to Waspinator. And Waspinator never surrender, and
Kicks him
kicks him
off.
off of it. And Cheetor's like, you're making this hard on yourself.
But he does
doesn't,
not.
What's going on here? Rat Trap and Rat Trap is trying to deflect fire from Megatron, who just keeps shooting at him with his tail laser and wheels.
Cool, and it's actually deflecting Megatron's laser.
It is the shield is so tiny, it seems very ineffective. Like,
It's a buckler.
It would be
Yeah.
pretty ineffective to me, but like, I don't know, it's working for him, so what do I know?
It's like the size of a dinner plate.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a buckler. It'd help him if he was dueling maybe Dinobot.
Yeah.
But apparently, his shield can deflect Megatron lasers.
Yeah. Yeah,
And he's like, what does it take to... What does he say?
he's like, scan this action. Megatron's got himself some kind of nutty facelift.
Yeah, Megatron jumps down and he's like, you haven't seen anything yet.
Beast mode.
So we get to see him in beast mode for the first time.
Yep, and he
looks
turns
like
in.
a toy. I know I've said that, but part of me likes the realistic forms of season 1.
Yeah.
Like, he straight up just looks like a toy. But I mean, the story's good, right? So I can jive with it. But it was jarring. I was like, oh, straight up toys now, huh? But they have additional abilities, so they're selling me on it. They're selling me on it.
You know what the whole transmetal thing reminded me of when I was a kid? Do you remember
What's
a
that?
show called Big Bad Beetleborgs?
Very vaguely.
It was
Big
another
Bad Beetleborgs.
It was another Saban series. Saban being the studio that made Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And Big Bad Beetleborgs, I think, was on from like 90. It ran concurrently with this
They're
show,
very
I think.
shiny.
So it ran from like 96 to 98, I think. So it ran around the same time as this.
They got Beetle. Okay, cool. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, so it was this show that was about these 3 kids who sneak into this haunted mansion and end up freeing a ghost who grants them like a wish that they could possibly desire. So they wish to be their favorite comic book superheroes, the Big Bad Beetleborgs. So what this ghost, whose name was Flabber, who looked like a blue Jay Leno,
He is terrifying.
he gave them. He made them Big Bad Beetleborgs. So he gave them the ability to morph into these like comic book superheroes. And much like Power Rangers, like when they turn into their Big Bad Beetleborg forms, it's just like stock footage from like a Japanese show.
Right. Yeah.
But at the end of the first season, they lost their powers. And in the second season, what they have to do is they track down the creator of the Beetleborgs comic, and he draws them new armor called Beetleborgs Metallics. And then the show even gets renamed Beetleborgs Metallics.
Huh.
And so like the new armor that they get is much more like robotic looking. Much more, it's a lot more chrome and robotic looking than the armor was.
Yeah.
It's shiny than the armor was in the first season. So that's what this reminded me of when I first saw this.
And you were aware of that back then.
Oh yeah, because I was watching Big Bad Beetleborgs, and I think season
Amazing.
2 of Beetleborgs premiere. I know it premiered before this.
So you it was giving you Beetleborg vibes.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, so the Transmetal is just like Beetleborgs Metallics, basically.
You know what? There was a weird phase of the 90s where like alternate or like metallic forms, alternate forms were like cool to kids. Maybe you don't recall, but like Pokemon had well, it still does have holographic like more rare versions of some of the rare cards.
Well, that was really common in 90s comics as well. Like
Oh, really?
oh yeah, like chromium covers, holographic covers, etc., etc. Like
Okay,
that
so it was a 90s thing.
the comic book covers doing it predates Pokemon cards by several years.
Interesting. So it was all about that sweet, sweet chrome.
Yep. It's one of those things about the 90s comics that that comic book collectors look back on with like just total derision, but like I look back on it with like super nostalgia. I'm like, fuck yeah, wraparound chromium covers. Shit was hype.
Almost as hype as your Beetleborg figurines you had.
Oh, I didn't have any Beetleborg toys.
Oh, you missed your window.
I don't even remember if there were Beetleborg. I'm sure there were, but I don't remember Beetleborg toys.
There had to have been.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm sure there were, but I never had any, and I don't remember we're seeing any in stores.
Maybe there wasn't a big enough audience here? Maybe?
I don't know. Who can say? Listeners, if you're curious about Big Bad Beetleborgs, I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. It's been on Netflix for years now.
No way.
I
Wow.
know because I've watched it in the past few years.
I have to say, I'm just finding out what this is, and the ghost is some nightmarish shit to behold. You said he's essentially like
He's a blue Jay Leno.
Jay Leno.
The guy who played him, I think, was actually a professional Jay Leno impersonator. Because like
What?
that
Really?
Because that was a thing in the 90s you could actually do for a living.
Well, I mean, in Vegas, you can do anything.
Even that.
The prosthetics are well done. They give him a huge ass, goofy fucking chin and nose, giant eyebrows.
Yeah.
Good character design. I'm digging it.
Yeah, and it wasn't just Flabber the ghost that lived in the mansion either. There were a bunch of other like kind of faux universal monsters. Like there was a Frankenstein monster named Frankenbeans.
Okay.
There was
Let me guess. A vampire and a werewolf.
Yeah, there was a vampire named Count Fangula.
Wow, they're really stretching the imagination with these.
What was always fun though is like he could go outside into the sunlight as long as he wore shades.
Weakness averted.
There was a mummy named Mums.
My God.
And there was a werewolf named Wolfgang.
See, that's a cool werewolf name.
There was also a Beast Wars toy named Wolf Fang.
Oh.
He wasn't on the show. He was supposed to be on the show.
Oh.
He was supposed to be Tigatron originally.
Oh, so there's a Wolf Fang toy.
There's a
but
Wolf
there's
Fang.
no Wolf Fang on the show.
There was a wolf. Yeah, there were tons of Beast Wars toys that didn't make it onto the show just because of like budget constraints and like technological constraints. Like they could only have like a fairly limited cast on the show at any given time.
You have to balance what characters you should have on the show.
Right.
Otherwise, you get melted in lava.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a toy of a character named Wolfang, who was actually one of my favorite Beast Wars toys when I was growing up.
I'm gonna Google what this guy looks like.
I actually saw one. This is like slight local talk, but we have a local toy store here in Victoria, British Columbia, that has a lot of like vintage toys.
Oh,
And
Cherry Bomb or whatever it's called.
Cherry Bomb, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
And last time I was there, they actually had a complete, not in box or anything, it was loose, but they had a complete Wolfang figure.
Oh, he looks kind of cool.
For $40. And I was really close to buying it, but I ended up buying Transmetal Cheetor instead. But I think next time I get paid, I'm going to take a stroll down there. And if Wolfang's still there, I'm going to pick it up because I loved that toy.
I'm jiving with that. I'm a fan of wolves and being free and that sort of thing. And this is one of my more favorite designs I'm looking at. Not his robot form, but him in his like beast form. It's a strong wolf silhouette. I dig it.
So Tigatron, like the character in the show, was originally supposed to be Wolfang, but they decided to go with Tigatron at the last minute to save money, because all they would have to do is just use the Cheetor model and alter it slightly.
Color it differently, yeah.
Color it differently, change the head a little bit, and make him a little beefier.
Hey, bada bing, bada boom! You got a tiger bot.
Bada bing, bada boom! Yeah, you got another fucking character. Big deal.
You got another fucking transformer. The kids buy him. What do you want?
Yeah, the kids buy him. It's just a new paint job. They don't know the fucking difference. Big fucking deal.
They maximize, they terrorize. Big fucking deal.
What 7-year-old even knows the fucking difference between a tiger and a cheetah anyway? Like I'm 37 and I don't even know what the fucking difference is. Like they're big cats. I think one's white and one's yellow. Like, what more to it is that? Like, what the fuck even is a Tigatron anyway?
One goes fast and he's in Africa, and the other, I don't know, he lives in the snow or some shit.
One goes fast, he's out running in the jungle, and the other one's playing fucking snowman.
What do you want? We killed his girlfriend. Forget him. I like to think this is how loose and fast the top guys, the Hasbro money men.
This is how their board meeting went.
Yeah, this is how, like, yeah, well, what? Are we doing lunch yet? they just bullshit for like 15 minutes and then take off, and the writers are like, well, that's what our notes were, so I guess we're doing a tiger, but he's white and lives in the snow. Sure.
There's something here about Louis' Pizzeria. What?
We'll write that out of the show.
Motherfucking cheetah. That Uncle Lou's Pizzeria. Yeah, motherfucking. You think motherfucking cheetahs eat pizza?
No, but I seen a rat there so fucking big. You know what? Make Rat Trap make pizza jokes. Or cheese jokes. I don't know.
Pizza's got cheese on it,
What are we even on about now? Okay.
I don't know.
That's one of the weirdest tangents we ever went on.
Oh, man.
Like, wise guys are apparently the producers of Hasbro Beast Wars toy line.
Beast Wars was funded through mob money. Oh, God.
Can Joe Pesci play my character?
Yes.
He's not dead, right?
Hey, he was in The Irishman. What was that, last year? Year before, 2019.
Oh, he was in it too?
Yeah.
With old De Niro?
Yeah.
How ancient did they look?
Well, there was a lot of CGI in that film,
right,
so they
right.
didn't look ancient. They just looked plastic.
Animated. Much like the Transmetal Beast Wars.
Megatron, beast mode!
Well, that's where we're at. And we
Yeah.
get to see good old Megatron in his beast mode. He's got quite the makeover.
Yeah,
He's
his-
metallic purple and metallic, what do we got?
Bronze.
Brass? Bronze? Copper, yeah. And he's got jets. And
Yeah.
rollerblades. Right?
Yep. He's got rollerblades on his feet and jets on his hips.
We were talking about like greasers and like hot rods and stuff. Rat
Yeah.
rods. And they play chicken here.
Yeah,
like
straight up.
literally.
Yeah, Rat Trap goes to beast
I dig
mode
it actually.
and gets his wheels out, and they play chicken and charge at one another. And then
I'm like, hold up, one of them is much bigger than the other.
but you know that Rat Trap's a slippery guy.
Hey, look at him. He's a fucking wise guy.
He's one slippery motherfucker.
You know,
And indeed, he puts his tail out. He straightens his tail out straight out.
yeah, he
and
like
then-
makes it rigid and straight.
Yeah, and screeches his tires and spins out to use his tail to trip Megatron.
Yeah. I dig it.
Clever.
I like it. And he transforms back into his robot form, and he's like, Megatron, power you got. Brains, that's another story.
And Megatron's all like, "Oh, you think so, motherfucker?"
Well, fuck you.
Well,
and he
fuck you
terrorizes.
then. Yeah, and he transforms and then starts shooting at him with his tail laser, and
And I'm like, weren't we just at this point?
yeah,
But they wanted to show off their new forms. And I gotta say, the episode certainly does that.
back on top of the Axelon, Cheetor is hiding behind something, and Waspinator is shooting at him, and Cheetor transforms and gets out this like tail whip thing.
He even cracks it.
Yeah. And so Waspinator is like walking toward Cheetor, and like from around the corner, Cheetor like knocks the Waspinator's like
Gun.
stinger gun out of his hand, and Waspinator's just like "Ah!" and then transforms and fucks off.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm powerless here.
That was funny. It's like his gun got knocked out of his hand, and he's like, well, fuck this.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. I'm like, bro, you have eye lasers. This fucking Cheetor's tail whip. Was not expecting that.
Yeah.
And he pursues Waspinator, but then sees that Rat Trap's having some trouble with Megatron. So cuts it short and like jets towards Megatron. And we get a little shot. I actually really like this shot. We get a little shot of the gunfight between Megatron and Rat Trap.
Yeah, and Rat Trap is straight up just like shooting Megatron, and his bullet or his like blasters are hitting Megatron. They're just not doing anything to him.
Yeah, Megatron's just steadily walking forward and just like tanking the shots.
Yeah.
And he's just firing as he walks. It's only like a 10-second shot, but it's really badass. We basically get to see that Rat Trap's gun doesn't do anything against Megatron. But to be fair, I mean, Megatron's like weird little like tail laser thing doesn't, as long as Rat Trap like uses his shield, it doesn't seem to be doing much to him either. It's a badass shot though.
He's got his little dinner plate shield, and he's hiding behind a rock for bonus effect.
That's true. When you're behind a rock, unless you're Inferno, unless you're hiding from Inferno, you're basically bulletproof.
Yeah, it's the old Beast Wars maneuver. It's the old Beast Wars classic. Is
It really
hiding
is.
behind a rock.
When in doubt, hide behind a rock.
Yeah. So
yeah, go ahead.
So Cheetor is like flying toward Megatron, and Megatron's all like, "Oh shit!" and then steps aside. and Cheetor just like zips on past him, and crashes into Rat Trap.
That was it. I could see that coming, and it was embarrassing.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, "Air Cheetors coming in! Look out!" Like announcing his arrival loudly, so Megatron can turn and be like, "Oh shit!" Like if he just didn't say anything, he could have tackled him.
Yeah. So after Cheetor crashes into Rat Trap, Megatron like charges his tail laser, and I love what he says here. He says, "New packaging, same product, losers."
Yeah,
I like the new packaging, same product line,
that's good.
especially since this is a show based on a toy line.
Yeah, that's clever. There's
Yeah.
been a few clever things this episode. And we cut back into the Axelon where somehow, Inferno and Dinobot are still like wrestling,
Yeah, they've been going at it for a while, hey?
right? Presuming this is happening at the same time as what's going on outside.
Yeah.
And I mean, Inferno's a beast too. He's a fanatic, right? Like he'll fight to the death, right? And it's a little bit before you get like I'm expecting like eyes being gouged, like lips being like like ripped and biting and stuff. Like they're right in each other's face. Like I think Dinobot's even trying to bite his hand. It's it's not looking good. And
Dude,
Rhinox.
eye lasers.
Oh,
Why doesn't he eye laser?
why didn't Dinobot eye laser him?
Yeah.
Dude, come on. That's when you eye laser.
It's like it's Dinobot's like fucking ace in the hole every time.
Yeah, he's being strangled by Inferno.
Yeah.
Eye laser the bitch.
Yeah. Just do it.
Huh, good point.
But he doesn't. But fortunately, Rhinox saves the day and grabs Inferno by the head and just lifts him up and throws him down the elevator platform.
Yeah, he says, "I don't think so," and tosses him out of the ship. And you hear Inferno go, "No!"
And he lands at the bottom, and Megatron
This is
notices
perplexing.
this. Megatron walks over, and Inferno is like, "Royalty, you've come for me."
That's so weird. Megatron walked away from finishing off Rat Trap and Cheetor to go help Inferno.
Right.
What? He
Well,
even looks concerned and he yells, "Inferno!" and he runs over to help him. And I'm like, what? Oh, I guess he's low on troops. Right? Like he needs all and he probably presumed Inferno was dead up to this point.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, fair. He's gotta bolster his numbers.
And from inside the Axelon, we hear Rhinox yell, "Megatron!" And he's got his like gat out, aimed at him.
Yeah, that's badass, man. I'm looking forward to Rhinox like tearing Megatron apart. He's no more peaceful Rhinox. I feel like he's gonna tear people a new asshole. I'm looking forward to it.
And Megatron's all like, "Time for a tactical retreat. Yes." Goes to beast mode and like jets away, but like kind of leaps into the air and then lands on Inferno and then grabs him with his feet like a bird and then flies away.
So apparently he could lift someone as big as Inferno and still manage to fly. I actually didn't catch that the first time. I thought he just flew away without Inferno, and Inferno like crawled away or flew away himself. Cool.
Mm. Yeah, so Rhinox and Dinobot jump out of the Axelon, and Rat Trap and Cheetor dust themselves off.
Oh,
and,
I just noticed Rat Trap like smacks his head, And screws and like nuts like fall out of his head.
Yeah, they come out of like his ear.
Yeah.
And he's
And
like, you know, a few flying lessons wouldn't hurt.
And I'm like, he's had jets for like
10
like
minutes.
approximately 20 minutes of the or
Yeah,
14 minutes of the show. Yeah.
yeah.
Give him a break.
Yeah, and they're all like, Rhinox is all like, are you okay? And Rat Trap's like, yeah, but if you ask me, the Beast Wars just got a whole lot weirder.
Right?
Megatron is flying away.
As they
and we-
watch Megatron fly away.
And we cut to a some scenery we've
Oh,
never seen before.
Right. I forgot about this scene.
This like barren wasteland with these like dead trees.
The
and,
lightning
like,
effects and the lighting is cool.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you were saying there's kind of like pillars of rock and dead trees everywhere.
Yeah, and it's raining and the skies are gray and like the ground kind of looks scorched.
Yeah, like maybe this was a wildfire or just nothing's grown here in a long time.
Well,
Like there's even like yellow.
well, the fake moon was just cooking the planet.
Oh, completely forgot about that. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the whole planet's like fucked up.
yeah.
And there's like yellow fog, or is it like acid rain? Maybe it's acid rain or something.
I think it's acid rain. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we hear, a computer voice say, "Scanning for life forms," and we see 2 DNA sequencers go up into the air.
2.
Yes.
And there's a malfunction.
Yeah, and we zoom into one of the stasis pods, one of these 2 stasis pods, and it's all like systems malfunctioning. And on the console, we see like a graphical, a couple of different kinds of animals.
Oh, I didn't see that. What? You know what, Kit?
Yep.
On this episode, how did I miss that?
And then a hand pushes its way through the glass of that, very reminiscent of a zombie film.
Yeah, busting out of the coffin.
And that's
credits. That was it.
Yep. What an ominous way to end the episode.
It's a lot of fucking shit happened this episode, man.
So, here on Too Much Energon, we rate episodes on the Too Much Energon scale, which ranges from not enough Energon, which are episodes that aren't that great, to sufficient Energon, which are episodes that are, just okay, and to Too Much Energon, which are episodes that are pretty good or all the way up to the best ever. Cal, what do you rate Aftermath?
Oh, upon watching it again, I like it more than I thought I did the first time. It was so jarringly like, this is a show to sell toys. But do you, like they look very much like I'm used to how they look in season 1, right?
Right.
So I'm like, they should look like animals. Like, come on. And now they straight up just look like metallic, like toys. But
they're very toyetic.
Yeah, yeah.
Actual term.
Oh, I didn't know that was a term.
Yeah, toyetic refers to something. It's a marketing term that refers to something in a property that is designed with the intent of being able to easily be turned into a toy.
Oh, today I learned. But it is really cool. Like Rat Trap can like race around now, and Cheetor can fly. And if I just ignore the part about the aesthetic, I'll get used to it. Whatever. And focus on the dialogue and the plot. A lot of the plot suffers because, just like all the roll calls in Beast Wars Part 1 on Season 1,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of like, terrorize, blah, 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 terrorize, like roll calls. Because it's introducing you. It's really trying to show off, hey, these guys are shiny and new. What do you want? And you know that I'm torn. I'm a little torn. What? You know what? Can you come back to me? I want to see if you sell me on it. What about you?
I have, in the past week, I've watched this episode 5 times because I really, really like this episode, and I always have. However, I am going to give it a high sufficient energon.
That's what I was toying with. Like, I wasn't sure.
It doesn't quite make too much energon for me because, like, other than the fallout from the quantum surge and like them getting their new forms, like not a lot really happens in this episode. If you think about it, it's like
They're all just recovering. Yeah.
They're all kind of recovering. Like they don't really venture out of the base at all,
Right.
and the Predacons show up to attack in a like what seems like a very foolhardy mission, considering like the Predacons like are comprised of just Megatron and Waspinator. It's like,
Yeah, it was just those two showing up.
Yeah, it's like, what are you thinking? Like, maybe regroup first,
or at least find out which members of your team are still alive.
Yeah, it feels kind of forced to me watching it now, because it's like that battle only happened because they're like, oh, we need a battle to show off the new we need to have a battle so these new transmetal characters can transform and show off like all the cool things that they can do.
Yeah, like the Cheetor jumping around the corner and whipping Waspinator with his tail. I was like, I understand they're showing off like parts of the toy, but yeah. I mean, all the Megatron fighting was like cool, but like, what did he expect? Did he expect just him and Waspinator to take them all?
Yeah, the whole battle was kind of pointless.
It gets a sufficient amount of energon from me. It's good, but it's not too much energon.
No. I do I do like, and I always have, I do really like the whole narrative explanation of the quantum surge.
I feel like they handled that great.
Yeah, the transwarp explosion, like it implies that they get their and this may be something that gets touched on later, but it implies that the alien technology, the explosion from the alien technology played a role in mutating their superstructures.
Right. Huh. Yeah, like why would it do that?
Yeah, because like you wouldn't expect something like that to happen from just like a regular transwarp explosion, but like a transwarp explosion with this like mystical alien technology creating this like shockwave.
Yeah. That specifically ended up benefiting them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really cool way for them to explain something that was clearly mandated by Hasbro. They're like, Hasbro was clearly like, hey, we're coming out with this Transmetal toy line. Figure out a way to explain that.
And I think they did a decent job.
Yeah, and I think the way that they handled that was great. The quantum surge is awesome. Like I love the whole sequence of the surge like hitting the planet and like them being inundated with these cosmic rays.
It's cool.
Yeah. But You know what? It's just gonna like not even a high sufficient energon, just a sufficient energon because I'm
it's
also
sufficient.
I'm also knocking off points because of how Pterosaur and Scorponok were just snuffed out.
They did my boys bad. No episode where they get a 3-second death scene can earn a too much energon from me.
Yeah, and no one even seemed to notice or care that they were gone. Like Black Arachnia acknowledged that they weren't part of Megatron's like sortie.
Attack force, yeah. Attack force, yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, like it's not even acknowledged. Like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah, I understand Predacons don't give a shit about each other, but I mean, how many times did Pterosaur like get the drop on Optimus? Right, like that was specifically like a thing that happened often. Like Pterosaur is a shithead, but he got the drop on Optimus often.
And like him and Waspinator work together all the time, and they seem to have a pretty good. Yeah, they seem to have a pretty good working relationship with one another. Like you think Waspinator would just be all like, "Oh, Waspinator feels lost without pterodactyl bot."
Right?
Waspinator not know.
Bot.
Waspinator flies alone now.
Oh, see, if there was something in like that, I think I might have been okay with giving it a high sufficient amount, but nobody seemed to notice or care, including our emotional, the youngster of the group, Waspinator.
Yeah.
See, I like that little line you just added.
Yeah, that would have added so much. Like.
Just a 10-second shot of like Waspinator being sad, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I'm inserting that into my head canon.
That's going in the fanfic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that has been the first episode of season 2, Aftermath. We will be back next week with a Mega Beast sized episode because next week is a 2-parter, Coming of the Fusors, parts 1 and 2.
Ooh.
Yeah. We'll be covering both of those episodes as one podcast, as we always do. On this show, we cover multi-part episodes as a single episode of the podcast.
Even if it's 3 episodes.
Even if it's 3 episodes.
And we sacrifice ourselves for you, the listener.
And we end up with a 3 and we end up with a 3.5 hour long podcast for your listening pleasure.
Yeah.
Best way to support the show. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or iTunes, be sure to give us a 5-star rating. We've only got a couple of those, and getting more of those would really help us out with discoverability. Check out our website, www.toomuchenergon.ca. The www is very important because will not work otherwise, and I don't know how to fix that because I know nothing about web stuff. I'm not a spider.
You know more than me.
I'm not a spider, damn it.
You're not a spider hacker.
No. If you want to get in touch with us, send us an email at toomuchenergon@outlook.com. Also, check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/toomuchenergon. We are running out of time tonight, so we're going to get out of here. Thanks for listening, everyone, and until next week, Beast Mode.
Beast Mode.